Nora Callahan kept 3 calendars, one on the wall, one on her phone, one in the small notebook she carried in the inside pocket of her coat. Every Callahan family event was in all 3, color-coded, with buffer time before and travel time after. She had been doing it for 9 years. Nobody had asked her to. She ordered the flowers for Mother's Day in March. She confirmed the restaurant reservation twice and called the morning of to verify the table. She bought Patricia's birthday gifts alone and signed Joel's name first on the card. She did not tell him. There was no point explaining something he would not remember to do. For 9 years, she had been the one who remembered. Dietary restrictions, parking situations, which cousin had stopped speaking to which uncle and why. Patricia thanked Joel at every dinner. Nora would hear it from across the table. "Joel, you always know how to make this work." Joel would nod, and not correct her. The infertility treatments had started 18 months earlier, 3 rounds. Nora tracked everything: appointment dates, medication schedules, the precise moment each cycle ended. She kept a separate section in her notebook for it. Smaller handwriting, neater columns. She did not integrate it with the Callahan event schedule. She had told Patricia once briefly over the phone, in the early months when it had still felt like something shareable. Patricia had said these things take time and moved on to asking about Easter. Nora had not mentioned it again. Joel knew. He had sat in every waiting room. He had held her hand during the consultations where the doctor spoke in probabilities. He was good in hospitals. He was less good at telling his family to adjust their behavior. He called it keeping the peace. Nora called it nothing because she had stopped naming things for him. In November, the 3rd round failed. Nora took 2 days and then went back to her scheduling notebook. There were things to organize. Joel's family Christmas Eve dinner needed a venue. His cousin's anniversary gift needed ordering. Patricia had mentioned wanting a lemon cake this year instead of chocolate. Nora noted all 3. In January, Dean's wife Sasha became pregnant. Dean called Joel first. Nora was in the other room. She heard Joel's voice go high and warm in the way it did for good news. She sat on the edge of the bed and looked at the wall for a while. Then she washed her face and went to congratulate them by phone. In February, Patricia called to say she was planning a dinner, a small celebration, just family, to share Sasha's news. She did not ask Nora's availability. She told Joel the date. Joel said yes and told Nora after. Nora noted it in all 3 calendars. She did not say anything about the timing. The first cancellation came in March. Nora's body was in the middle of a medication cycle. She was nauseous, sleeping in 2-hour blocks, running a low fever that the doctor said was expected and not dangerous. She called Patricia and asked to reschedule. Patricia said they would sort it out. Dean called Joel an hour later. Dean told Joel that Nora always seemed to have something come up around family events. He said it lightly, with the particular tone of someone who wanted the sentence to sit in the air without being attributed to them. Joel said she was sick. Dean said people pushed through when it mattered. Joel said nothing else. The second cancellation came 6 weeks later. Nora had a follow-up consultation scheduled the same morning as the rescheduled dinner. She called Patricia herself. She explained briefly that they had a medical appointment they could not move. Patricia said she understood. Dean texted Joel, "Is everything okay with you two?" That evening, Dean called Nora directly. This was unusual. He asked if she was doing okay, which was also unusual. Then he said, "I think sometimes stress manifests physically, and it can be easy to treat it like something bigger than it is." He said this gently, as though offering something. Nora thanked him and ended the call. She told Joel what Dean had said. Verbatim. Joel was quiet for a long time. Then he said Dean didn't mean it like that. Nora said she knew what he meant. Joel said Dean was just worried. Nora said she understood that too. She went to bed. Joel stayed on the couch for another hour. In April, Patricia called with the new date for the dinner. She said it had taken considerable rescheduling and she hoped they could make it this time. She said this without malice, which was the precise reason it was so difficult to answer. Nora put it in all 3 calendars. She did not clear her schedule for the weeks around it. The dinner was a Saturday in April. Patricia had set the table for 14. There were cloth napkins rolled into silver rings. There were candles. In the center of the table, wrapped in pink and gold paper with a satin ribbon, was a large gift box. Nobody mentioned it when Nora and Joel arrived. Nobody explained it. Patricia called everyone to the table. Dean stood and said he had a little announcement to make, and then he laughed, because it was not little. Sasha stood beside him. Patricia produced a small bell and rang it. The box was opened by the youngest cousin, a girl of 7, who pulled out pink tissue paper and a onesie with Callahan stitched across the front. She did not cry at the table. She made it to the hallway bathroom. She ran the water, so nobody could hear. and she stood with her back against the tile wall, and she breathed until the edges of her vision steadied. She was in there for 4 minutes. When she came out, Patricia was refilling the bread basket. Joel found her in the hallway. He looked at her face and he knew. He asked if she wanted to leave. She said not yet. It would look strange. He said it didn't matter how it looked. She said quietly that it mattered to her, and she went back to the table. He followed. Neither of them ate much. After dessert, Patricia made a speech. She thanked Dean and Sasha. She said the family was growing in beautiful ways. She looked at Joel and said, "This is what it's all about, isn't it?" It was not a question. Joel said yes. Nora looked at the china cabinet on the wall. She counted the pieces. There were 41. In the car on the way home, Joel said he was sorry. Nora said she knew. He said he should have warned her. She said yes, he should have. He said he hadn't known either, that Patricia had not told him about the reveal box. Nora said she believed him. Then she looked out the window and they did not speak for the rest of the drive. The next morning, Joel called his mother. He told her the reveal had been a surprise and that it had been hard for Nora given what they were going through. Patricia said she had thought they would be happy for Sasha. Joel said that wasn't the issue. Patricia said she couldn't please everyone. The call lasted 7 minutes. Dean called an hour later. He said he'd heard Joel had upset their mother. He said the timing of the reveal wasn't something they had planned to weaponize, his word weaponize, as though Nora had accused them of something, and she had not. Joel said Nora hadn't used that word. Dean said he was just saying. At family events, there was a version of events that became official. In this version, Joel had called his mother after the dinner to complain. Nora had made the evening difficult. The pregnancy reveal had been a simple joy and it had been overshadowed. This version was never stated plainly. It moved through the family the way weather moves, without attribution. Nora heard the version from Joel's cousin, who repeated it carefully, the way people repeat things when they want you to know without being responsible for the knowing. The cousin said she was sure both sides had a point. Nora thanked her and changed the subject. She went home and crossed a name off her internal list of people she would continue to extend effort toward. That night, Nora told Joel she was done attending Callahan family events for the foreseeable future. She did not say it as an ultimatum. She said it the way she said most things, clearly once. Joel said he understood. He asked if she wanted him to say something to his family. She said no. She said she didn't want anything said at all. The pivot did not announce itself. There was no letter, no confrontation, no documented list of grievances. Nora simply stopped. She stopped calling Patricia to confirm reservations. She stopped ordering the birthday gifts. She stopped tracking the cousin's dietary needs in her notebook. She stopped adding the Callahan family events to any of her 3 calendars. The blank squares where the color-coded blocks had been looked like any other ordinary days. They were. She stopped. The word did not carry drama. It carried the particular weight of a decision made by someone who had been waiting to find out if she could make it. Joel went to the next family dinner alone. He had given no explanation to his family because Nora had asked him not to. He said Nora was tired. Patricia said she hoped she felt better soon. Dean refilled his glass and said nothing. The dinner lasted 2 hours. Joel ate and came home. The Mother's Day reservation was not made. Patricia's birthday came without a gift from Joel and Nora, only a card in Joel's handwriting alone. The family's Easter potluck lost its coordination layer. 3 people brought salads. Nobody brought dessert. Patricia called a cousin who had never organized anything, and the timing was off. Patricia called Joel in May. She asked if everything was all right with Nora. Joel said yes. She asked if Nora was still unwell. Joel said she was fine. Patricia said she had been hoping to speak with her directly. Joel said Nora had been busy. All of this was true. None of it was useful to Patricia. Dean texted Joel in June. He asked if he and Nora were coming to the baby shower. Joel said they would not be able to make it. Dean called immediately. He asked if there was something going on. Joel said not specifically. Dean said that was a strange answer. Joel said he was sorry they couldn't make it and he had to go. The baby shower came and went. Sasha's family organized it. Nobody from the Callahan side knew who to call about the caterer. Patricia had always assumed that part sorted itself, and until this year it had. She spent 3 hours on the phone the week before. The venue chairs were the wrong kind. In July, Patricia called Nora directly for the first time in 3 months. She said she had been thinking about how Nora might be feeling and she wanted to check in. Nora said she appreciated that. Patricia said she hoped they could move forward. Nora said she hoped so too. She did not add anything and Patricia did not know what to do with the silence that followed. Patricia told Dean about the call. She said Nora had seemed fine but distant. Dean said Nora had always been a bit difficult to read. Patricia said maybe she had never really tried. Dean did not answer that. It was the first honest thing she had said about it, and it arrived without ceremony. And both of them let it pass. Summer passed. The family held 3 events without Nora. At each one, something was slightly wrong. The restaurant confirmation had been sent to the wrong address. The August cookout ran out of ice because nobody had confirmed the quantity. Patricia found herself making notes in a small pad and felt, for the first time, how many notes there must have been. Nora and Joel went to a restaurant in August, just the 2 of them. She ordered the fish. He ordered the steak. They talked about a documentary they had watched and a neighborhood they were thinking about walking through on Sunday. They were there for 2 hours. She laughed twice. He paid. In September, the baby was born. Patricia called Joel from the hospital. He congratulated her and said he would pass the news to Nora. He did not go to the hospital that night. Nora sent a card with a gift card inside. Ordered online. No message beyond the pre-printed text. Patricia texted to say thank you. Dean drove to visit Patricia in October and found her sitting at the kitchen table with a list she had been working on for 2 hours. It was a list of everything Nora had handled for the family over the years. She had gotten to 23 items and was not done. Dean looked at the list and did not say anything. Dean read the list. Reservation management, gift coordination, dietary tracking, remembering which family member was in conflict with which, driving logistics for Patricia's winter appointments, the lemon cake substitution that had been in place for 3 years. He said to his mother, "Did she do all of this every year?" Patricia said she had not realized. He believed her. Patricia called Joel that evening. She said she had been thinking about how much Nora had contributed to the family over the years, and she wanted to say thank you properly when the time was right. Joel said he would pass that along. He told Nora over dinner. Nora said that was kind. She did not say anything else. November came. The family's Thanksgiving dinner had, for 9 consecutive years, been coordinated by Nora. The venue, the dietary accommodations, the seating arrangement, the division of dishes between contributing family members. This November, Patricia asked Dean to handle it. Dean made a shared document and sent it to the family. Nobody filled it in on time. Thanksgiving was at a restaurant Patricia booked in the 2nd week of November. The private room was too small. 2 family members with dietary restrictions ate around the edges of the menu. The meal was fine. Nobody called it a success. Patricia said she missed the old way. Nobody said who the old way had been. Nora and Joel spent Thanksgiving with Nora's sister in her apartment across town. They brought wine and a pie. They ate at a small table with 4 chairs. The sister's partner made the turkey badly and it was fine. Nora washed the dishes after because she wanted to. She went home full and slept easily. In December, Patricia sent Nora a card. Handwritten, she said she had been doing a lot of thinking, and she wanted Nora to know that she was valued, that she had always been valued, and that if she had made Nora feel otherwise, she was sorry for it. The card arrived on a Wednesday. Nora read it twice and set it on the kitchen counter. She did not respond to the card for 11 days. When she did, she wrote a brief note by hand. She thanked Patricia for writing. She said she was doing well. She signed it Nora. Not love, Nora. Not warmly. Just Nora. Patricia showed Dean the note. He read it twice. He said he thought that was probably fair. Christmas came. Joel went to his family's Christmas Eve dinner alone. He had asked once a few days before whether she wanted to reconsider. She had said no, and her no had not been cold, only settled. Nora stayed home and video called her own family. She sat at the kitchen table with her laptop, and her sister's face on the screen, and her mother's voice in the background, and she stayed on the call for an hour and 40 minutes, longer than she had in years. When Joel came back, she was in the kitchen making tea. She asked how it went. He said everyone had asked about her. She nodded and poured him a cup. Patricia sat at her Christmas table with 11 people and 1 empty chair. Nobody said anything about the chair. She had told everyone simply that Joel and Nora had other plans. The dinner was fine. She made the lemon cake herself this year, because she had remembered at last who had requested it. It was for herself. She had never told anyone that. After the family left that night, Patricia sat at the table alone. The chandelier was still on. The dessert plates had been cleared. She sat where she always sat, and she looked at the empty chair, and she did not move it, and she did not clear it, and she stayed there for a long time. In January, Dean apologized to Joel. He said he had handled the pregnancy reveal badly, that he had not thought about what it would mean for Nora, and that when Joel had called their mother, he should have backed him instead of calling to complain. Joel said he appreciated it. He told Nora. She said that was good. He did not ask Joel to ask Nora to return. Joel noticed. He told Nora that Dean had been careful not to make it a request. Nora said that was smart of him. She poured more coffee, and the subject moved on to something else, and Joel understood finally that this was not a negotiation. Nora and Joel began seeing a therapist together in February, not because they were failing, because they were both of them carrying things that had accumulated, and a room existed for exactly that purpose. They had talked about it once 2 years ago and tabled it. They did not table it now. They went on Thursday evenings. Nora drove. Joel brought tea and a thermos for the wait. They sat in the waiting room without talking, which was not uncomfortable. And they went in and they talked. And some of it was hard. And they went home afterward. And most nights Nora made something simple for dinner and they ate. And that was how they were rebuilding. One ordinary evening at a time. Patricia called Joel in February and said she wanted to have lunch with him. No broader family. Just lunch. She wanted to understand what had happened. Joel said he would think about it. He told Nora. She said it was up to him. He went. He came back and said it had been a real conversation. Patricia asked Joel what Nora needed. He said he was not sure he was the right person to answer that. Patricia asked if there was a way to repair things. Joel said he did not know, and that he had stopped trying to know, and that they were both managing well. This was true. Patricia heard it as a closing sentence. March. The family's spring gathering was usually held at the end of the month, and planned by the third week. Nobody started planning by the third week. Patricia called Dean. Dean asked if they had a venue. Patricia said she thought Dean was handling it. Dean said he thought she was. The call lasted 12 minutes. The spring gathering was canceled for the first time in 19 years. Patricia sent a group text at 11 in the morning. She apologized for the short notice and said they would find a new date soon. The responses came in slowly. A thumbs up emoji from one cousin. A no worries from another. Dean said okay. Nobody offered to take it over. Nobody asked who else might. She did not reschedule. Nobody asked her to. The group chat, which had 68 messages over the previous 12 months, went quiet for 3 weeks. When it came back to life, it was a photo of someone's dog. The gathering was not mentioned again. Nora took a new client referral in April. An older woman recovering from a hip replacement who needed occupational therapy twice a week. On Thursdays after their session, the woman made tea, and they sat in her kitchen and talked about nothing in particular. Nora drove home afterward in no hurry. In May, Patricia called Nora for the second time since the card. She said she had been reflecting. She said she wished she had known about the treatments, about what the dinner had meant. She said she would have done things differently. Nora said she appreciated her saying so. Patricia waited for something more. It did not come. Patricia told Dean she had called and that Nora had been kind but not warm. Dean said maybe that was the best they were going to get. Patricia said she thought she deserved better. Dean said quietly that Nora probably thought the same thing and had decided to live as if it were true. Patricia did not argue. She did not argue. She thought about the lemon cake she had made at Christmas for herself. She thought about the 23 items on the list, which she had since extended to 31. She thought about the fact that she had thanked Joel for 9 years at every dinner and had not even once thanked Nora in the same room. Dean in June drove past a cafe near the old neighborhood. Through the tall front windows he saw Nora and a woman he did not recognize, laughing over something on a phone. Nora's coat was off. Her hair was down. She looked like someone who had the afternoon entirely to herself. He drove on. In July, Patricia wrote a longer letter, 6 pages, handwritten. She explained the dinner from her perspective. She explained that she had not known about the treatments, that if she had, she would have asked Sasha to share the news privately first. She said she was sorry, specifically, for the gift box. She said she was sorry, specifically, for not thanking Nora by name. The letter arrived on a Tuesday. Nora read it at the kitchen table, all 6 pages, in order. She set each page down as she finished it. When she was done, she sat for a while with her hands in her lap and looked out the window. The afternoon was ordinary outside, pigeons on the ledge, a bus passing. She told Joel about the letter that evening. She read him 2 passages. He said his mother had clearly been thinking. Nora said she knew. He asked if she wanted to respond. She said she was going to think about it. He said okay, and that was the end of it for that night. She thought about it for 2 weeks. Then she responded. 4 sentences. She thanked Patricia for the letter. She said she had read it and was glad she had written it. She said she needed more time. She signed it Nora, the same as before. Patricia read it and wept at her kitchen table, which she had not expected to do. Dean called Joel that week. He said their mother had received Nora's reply and was very moved. He said he thought Nora was exceptional and that he had not said so when it would have mattered. Joel said thank you. Dean said he was not asking for anything. Joel said he knew. It was the best conversation they had had in a year. August, Nora and Joel took a week away. They went to a small town on the coast, a rental they had found on short notice, a house with a kitchen that faced the water. They cooked every night. They walked every morning. On Thursday, they sat on the porch until the light went and did not discuss any of it. In September, Patricia attempted to organize the family's autumn gathering herself. She made a spreadsheet. She labeled the columns the way she imagined Nora might have. Venue, confirmed, dietary, bringing, RSVP. She set reminders on her phone. She called each family member individually because she did not know how to get people to respond to the group chat, and individually took 4 evenings because people did not pick up on the first call. She confirmed the venue twice. She asked Dean to handle the dietary list because she had gotten confused when 2 cousins had mentioned different things in the same conversation. He called 4 people. He missed 2. She did not find out until the gathering itself. The autumn gathering happened. It was fine. 1 dietary miss. The centerpiece was plain because nobody had coordinated it. Patricia thanked everyone by name this time. She thanked Dean and his wife. She thanked the cousins. The chair at the end of the table was not set. She had not set it herself. She had not known, until she did it, how much that would cost her. October. Nora had lunch with a colleague at a restaurant they had been meaning to try for a year. She ordered something she had never ordered before. She had a second glass of water and the afternoon was long and unhurried. She texted Joel from the restaurant. Just the name of the dish and a period. He texted back a single word. She smiled at her phone and set it down. In November, Patricia sent a card for Nora's birthday. No letter this time. A card with nothing written inside except, "I think of you often. Patricia." It was the most precise thing she had ever written to her. Nora put it on the kitchen counter beside the fruit bowl. She did not move it for 3 weeks. December. Nora and Joel had dinner with Nora's sister and her partner. The same 4 chairs. Nora brought the wine this time. Her sister made a pasta that went wrong halfway through, and they ate it anyway and it was still good. After dinner, they played a card game they had not played since childhood. Nora won 2 rounds and conceded the 3rd. On the drive home, Joel reached across and put his hand over hers on the center console. He did not say anything. There was nothing that needed saying. The city went by outside, lit and cold. The December streets moving through the windshield like something they were watching together. She turned her hand over and held his. They did not speak. Neither of them had to. The drive was 22 minutes. It felt like a complete thing. Patricia's Christmas dinner this year had no empty chair because she had not invited Nora and Joel, and she had not invited them because she understood at last that inviting someone is not the same as having them. She made the lemon cake again. She ate a slice alone at the counter after everyone left. She thought it was not bad. She thought she should learn the recipe properly next time.